My wife admitted something on her deathbed. Now I'm glad she died. I'm in angst. That's the only way I know how to describe it. Everything just feels so surreal right now. The words my wife spoke on her deathbed have unraveled everything I thought I knew. My wife and I had been together for 35 years. We married young, and our daughter came along about 10 years later. We built a life, a family. I remember the day she went into labor. I was at work when her water broke. Instead of calling me to come, she told me to stay put. She insisted she was fine. I told her she was crazy if she thought I wasn't going to be there for the birth of my child, but she started screaming at me to stay where I was. I just chalked it up to hormones. I finished out the day, and as soon as I clocked out, I flew to the hospital. But it was a venture that proved fruitless. When I arrived, my wife was nowhere to be found. The chaos of the busy hospital made my panic grow until my pager started beeping. It was my wife's number. In a confused hurry, I found the nearest phone to take her call. She was already home. She asked me where I had been. After a little back and forth about the sheer audacity of that statement, I got in my car and drove home as fast as I could. When I got there, I found her curled up in her chair in the living room, cradling our baby. She looked exhausted and completely drained. This should have been the happiest moment of my life. But all I felt was confusion. We were scheduled to have a baby boy. That's what the doctors kept telling us. Her explanation was that there had been some kind of mistake with the paperwork. We had spent hundreds on clothes and toys for a boy, but I allowed myself to feel happy. I was a new father. I wasn't going to let some paperwork issue rain on my parade. Her mom seemed in no mood to argue, and I spent the entire first night back home curled up in bed with my wife and our baby girl. I soothed them to sleep in each other's arms. From that moment on, I worked my ass off to give them a decent life. I kept food on the table, kept the lights on, and saved up every month for big gifts like jewelry and swing sets. Watching my daughter grow up was one of the most magical experiences of my life, from her first steps to her first day of school to seeing her blossom into a young woman. It was weird, though. Nobody ever said we looked alike, and nobody ever said she and her mom looked alike. I thought the same thing, but it didn't change how I loved her. But every fairy tale must come to an end, and ours ended with her mom being diagnosed with cancer. Those were some of the most difficult years of my life. Watching the woman I love lose her appetite, lose her hair, lose her life. It broke something within me. I was by her side every day, right there with my daughter. On the day we lost her, my daughter had been in class at the state university, 100 miles away. I was all alone, watching the world crumble before my very eyes. In her last moments, she looked at me with the same love she had when we first met, only this time it was more reminiscent, more sad, like she was realizing everything was coming to an end. And that's when her face changed. Her smile faded, her forehead creased, and she started sobbing. The words she spoke next have sent me over the edge. Our son died at birth after some complications. She told me that something snapped in her mind when she was told her baby didn't make it. Instead of accepting it, she rejected it. My daughter was stolen. That's the truth my wife took to her grave. My daughter, the girl I raised, the girl I watched grow up, was never mine. I've been questioning our relationship, our life, and everything in between ever since. I want to say I was lost, but truthfully, it made everything make sense. I still haven't found the heart to tell her. My daughter, who is 25 years old now, doesn't know she was stolen. She doesn't know her father is a stranger. Now I'm glad she died. Not out of anger, but because her confession gave me the truth. The pain is unbearable, but the mystery is finally solved, and I am free.